Hey y'all, it's Mr. Marlowe again. Been a long time since I've done a video. I got sick about this time last year and had to take some time off to defeat cancer. We blessedly did. But let's go back and do another video. We're going to talk about angles this time. And really quickly, an angle is looks something like that. It's got two sides, and where they meet is a vertex. And this is the angle that we normally talk about. So that's what we mean by angle. Bring us down, Sean Home. Okay, and for purposes of this activity, we're going to be focusing on something called a straight angle. I've always called it a straight line, but straight angle, it measures 180 degrees, but it is a straight line. And we're also going to use the idea of right angle or 90-degree angle. And we know that it's 90 degrees because it's got this little right angle symbol in it. We're not going to be measuring anything right now. We're just going to be looking at, is it a straight line or is it a 90-degree angle shown by the little angle symbol? Okay? So if we would go down again. Okay, that's good. All right. Adjacent angles are angles that share a side and a vertex, but they combine to make a third angle, which is the sum of the two measurements. So those are adjacent. And specifically, we are going to talk about angles that when they are adjacent form a straight line. That means they add to give you 180 degrees. Total. They're supplementary. Now, any two angles that add to give you 180 are supplementary, but we're going to focus on adjacent angles that form a straight line is our supplementary. And complementary angles, okay, these two angles combine to form a 90-degree angle. They are complementary. And again, any complementary angles, any angles that add to give you 90 are complementary. But we're going to focus on adjacent angles that form a 90. And we're going to use that information to help us find some missing angles. Okay? If you go to the next page, please. And before we get there, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be dealing with. Again, supplementary angles add to give you 180 degrees. We're going to be worried about adjacent angles that form a straight line. On the screen when we're doing the work, I'm going to abbreviate supplementary SUP. Complementary angles, again, add to give you 90 degrees. When they're adjacent, they form a right angle, and that's what we're going to be talking about. And I'm going to abbreviate that complementary COM. And then I haven't talked about vertical angles yet. We're going to abbreviate those VER. Vertical angles are equal, or in geometry we normally say equivalent or congruent. Okay? Vertical angles are formed when two lines intersect. Vertical angles are kind of opposite each other or across from each other in the intersection. They're not beside each other. They don't share a side. They just share the vertex. Okay? So we're going to use those three terms, and we are going to find the angle measurements for all these numbered angles. Okay? 1, 2, and 3 here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. So let's get started. Okay, the only angle measurement I know right here is 30 degrees, and that's where I'm going to start. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start and go in numerical order. So what do I know about angle 1's measurement? Well, I know that angle 1 forms a straight line with 30 degrees. Okay? So that means that angle 1 and 30 are supplementary. Supplementary means that they add to give me 180. So in my mind, I say 180 minus 30, that's 150 degrees. Why can I say that without measuring it? Because it is supplementary to the angle that's 30 degrees. That little squash looking L thing is shorthand for angle. So now I know the measurement of angle 1. Okay? Go to angle 2. Angle 2, you'll notice, is across from or vertical to angle 30. Well, we just said just a few minutes ago that vertical angles are equal or congruent. So I can say that angle 2 is a 30-degree angle because it is vertical to the 30-degree angle. Okay? Now, we're not going to get into it because I don't have room on the board, but we could also say, hey, it forms a straight line with angle 1, so that means it's supplementary to angle 1, and we go through that same process. 180 minus 150 is 30. Okay? But we're only going to worry about one, writing it on the board. The other ones I'll just mention. Okay, angle 3. And by the way, tip, okay? And that is, vertical angles are always the easiest ones because you don't have to subtract. Okay? So for angle 3, get my other color here. Angle 3 is vertical to angle 1. Vertical angles are equal or congruent, so that means angle 3 has to be the same as angle 1. So angle 3 is 150 degrees, and it's because it is vertical to angle 1. It is also supplementary to the 30 degrees, so I could do 180 minus 30 and get my 150. It is also supplementary to angle 2. So again, I could do 180 minus 30 is 150. So that takes care of those. Okay? Over here, same thing. We're just going to go around the process. Okay? And starting with angle 4, I'm going to go in numerical order. I'll step over here so I'm not maybe blocking it. I will say one thing that I skipped over on that one is that you really should start with the complementary. Does your intersection form a 90-degree angle? It doesn't, so we can move on to the vertical and supplementary side of things. But once again, the only angle I know is 110 degrees. So angle 4, I see forms a straight line with 110. So that angle right there has got to be 180. So 110 plus what is 180? Well, 180 minus 110 is 70 degrees. And why was I doing that? Because it is supplementary to my 110 degree angle. Okay? Forms a straight line, supplementary, got to add to give you 180. So there's my justification. All right, so now, angle 5. Angle 5 is a vertical angle with angle 4. And again, remember, vertical angles are equal. I don't have to do any calculation at all. Angle 5 has to be equal to angle 4. They are vertical, cross from each other in the intersection. Okay, it shares a side with 6 and 110, so they are not vertical. They're adjacent to it. Angle 5 and angle 4 have to be equal, 70 degrees, vertical to angle 4. Again, it's worth noting that angle 5 does form a straight line here with angle 6. But I don't know the measurement of angle 6, so that's not going to help me. But it does form a straight line with 110, so I could use the supplementary thing too. But we're just worried about the one. Okay, angle 6 here is vertical across from angle 10, so I know that they're the same. So 110 degrees. And the reason is because it is vertical to the 110 degree angle. Again, if I wanted to, I could go with supplementary, forms a straight line with angle 4, and I know that that's 70. 180 minus 70 is 110. Likewise, straight line with angle 5. 180 degrees minus 70, 110. So there's more than one way to justify our answers here. We're actually going to skip 7, 8, and 9 because I don't want to make this too long. And 7, 8, and 9 is just really a repeat of this because angle 5 and this are both 70 degrees. So that means 7 is going to be that. And there's a whole another set of geometry that lets us make a jump from this intersection to this one, but we're not doing that here in 7th grade. So we're just focused on supplementary, vertical, and complementary. And like I said, this is just a repeat of that. So let's go down. No, wait, we got one over here. I'm sorry. I forgot about number 10. We're going to jump over here to 10. 10 is really basic because, again, it forms a straight line right here. And, well, actually, yeah, it's the same as over there. I forgot about that. This is 70. Angle 10 has to be the rest of 180 because it is supplementary to a 70 degree angle. Okay? So, again, straight line, one of the measurements. So now we need to go down. Okay? Keep going. And there you go. All right, so let's clean this up, and we'll do these, and we'll call it a video. All right, number 11, again, I see that I have formed a right angle, but it's not over here. This is my 90 degree angle. However, it forms a straight line right here. So that means that is also 90. How do I know? Straight line means that this has to give me 180. I know what this one is. It's 90. So there's a couple of ways to approach this, but I think the easiest way is to realize that this is a 90 degree angle because this is. So 25 and 11 have to add to give me 90. They are complementary. 65 plus 25 is 90. So it's a 65 degree angle because it is complementary to the 25 degree angle. Because they form a 90. And again, we actually use supplementary to get that answer as well. Okay, almost done. We'll wrap this up. And we'll start with angle 12 right here. Okay, no right angles because there's no right angle symbol. However, I do see that 80 and angle 12 form a straight line. So that has to be 180 degrees. So all I have to do is subtract, and obviously 180 minus 80 is 100 degrees. And I can say that because it is supplementary to the 80 degree angle. All right, angle 13 right here. Angle 13 is formed by the intersection of these two lines. It is directly across from my 140 degree angle there. Means it's a vertical angle. Vertical angles, again, are equal or congruent. So it's got to be 140 degrees because it is vertical to a 140 degree angle. Right across the street there. Okay, our last two. Down here, again, going in order, angle 14, I see forms a straight line with this 120 degree angle. So 120 and the measurement of 14 have got to give me 180 degrees because they form a straight line. They're supplementary. 180 minus 120 is 60 degrees. And that is because it is supplementary to a 120 degree angle. And the final one for this video, angle 15, easiest way to do it is look. It's formed by that intersection. it is right across from the 120 degrees, means it's vertical. So that makes it a 120 degree angle because it is vertical to a 120 degree angle.
Oh.
And last but not least,
I get it now.
I can also say that it's supplementary to angle 14. You can see it forms a straight line right here with angle 14. I already know the measure of angle 14, so I could do supplementary there as well. But I come back to, if it's vertical, I don't have to do a calculation. I know it's equal. But anyway, that's just a real short video on angle measurements, 7th grade math, Mr. Marlowe's class, focusing on supplementary and vertical and complementary angles. And that's it. I hope it helped some, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.